Hello, everybody. Welcome to another riveting episode of Buggy Reviews. It is approaching the month of the spooky times, and what better way than to jump onto a shambling corpse of a series, I guess. Marvel Zombies. It's pretty much as you expect in the title. Zombie apocalypse version of Marvel. Very popular comic book back in the day when they got the guy who made The Walking Dead and Invincible, Robert Kirkman, to write the Marvel a zombie comic. It was very popular. And now Disney's decided they want to take their crack at it with an MCU equivalent. They had already dabbled in this with an episode in their series What If, which I had thought was probably one of their better episodes out of the mixed bag of a series that was. Up until season 2 and onwards, it just completely flopped. But this is meant to be a continuation, so it's essentially just spinning off from What If, you know. And truth be told, this is 2 hours that I feel like is very skippable. Now, why would I say that? You know, okay? The rule of general thumb I've got from this show is, if there is an MCU character you like, it is going to be one of two options you're gonna get. Either A, they're gonna be already a zombie at this point, and therefore there's no character qualities or traits that you can enjoy from seeing said character on screen, or you are getting a character that is treated like a joke and then dies horribly, which makes them seem really stupid. You know, I made the mistake of enjoying Kate Bishop as a character in Hawkeye, one of the few people that actually liked her character, so this show kind of annoyed me on that front. Kate, don't even bother!
Let's see what this baby's got.
Kate, no, don't do it! We're gonna fucking die! And then I have no good characters to be with! Are you?
Shit.
No! Oh, come on! Oh, come on! Oh! Of course, we take away the only good character in the fucking roster! Ah! Ah! Why? I'm not allowed nice things, of course. No, you can't have good Haley Steinfeld, the only decent voice actors in the fucking roster. Fuck! Yeah. I also like John Walker, I like Baron Zemo, but they got treated like absolute jobber jokes in this, and dying like hilariously, like ridiculous deaths that just makes no sense. And of course, if there's any characters you're not a fan of, well, tough luck. You're stuck with them till the very end, you know? And some people want to say, oh, well, but Spider-Man's in there. Well, Spider-Man's in there for about maybe 10 minutes of the entire series because it's a contractual thing with Sony, you know? Because this was going to be a movie at one point, but according to them, they had to turn it into a series due to contractual issues with Spider-Man. So, you know, but I digress. I think this was always going to be a series in the first place. You know, the Spider-Man thing was just a nice little added convenience. But, yeah. And I don't know, maybe I'm just, these sorts of stories, these, like, alternate, like, post-apocalyptic, oh, everything, the world has been screwed over by zombies, vampires, robots, whatever have you, these alternate, like, doomsday takes, just never really go well for me, because the appeal of it is, you have to try, because the marketing is usually going to be your favorite characters turn into a zombie, and it's like, oh my god, that's crazy, you know? And then you're left with a lot of characters that you gotta try to work with as you're non-infected, you know? Like when you have the Avengers taken over by zombies, it's like, okay, you gotta grab up some characters that are from the lower level rung and use them. But in the MCU's case, it's not good because the majority of the cast is based off of Phase 4 and 5 characters, a lot of which people are just not that big into. And it's also got that thing with the voice acting where, oh yeah, they'll grab a bunch of the actors in there, but there's a huge difference between acting in live action and voice acting. You know, some actors can kind of achieve it, some not so much because it's not something that you can easily transpire with, and in some it's almost weird to see, like with Yelena, Florence Pugh, who plays her, right? The problem is with her, she can't really maintain emotion in this sense because she has to try to maintain that very bad Russian accent, which doesn't work. And as much as I would love to have a Russian accent widow, I kind of want a good Russian accent widow. So she's hindered herself in that ability because when you hear her in other things, like in Puss in Boots 2, she was good in that. But I don't know what the problem is there. Now, other actors, they seem to have a better grasp on it, like David Harbour or Iman Vellani. You know, they seem to have a better idea of how to act with the voices and whatnot, so they're very good there. Others, it's just a little more work could be done. As for a lot of the characters, as I said, a majority of them you are going to be traveling with is Phase 4 and 5 characters. You're getting Kamala Khan as your essential main lead throughout the story, where she'll be accompanied by characters like Kate Bishop, who I liked, Ironheart, which I did not like, Shang-Chi and his little supporting cast, Jimmy Woo, you know, and of course the Red Guardian and the Widows, which, you know, depending on how you feel about any of these characters, you're not really going to be liking them. And the only, like, I would say, interesting character that would be anyone's, like big interest would be Blade. Or, you know, the Moon Knight version of Blade, because in this version, Moon Knight died and Khonshu picked Blade as his next avatar. And this is what you get, you know. This is the only time we're getting an MCU Blade, because who knows when that Blade movie's coming out. The plot is essentially, for the most part, it's like we have a MacGuffin that we think could save the world from the zombie apocalypse. So let's try. We got to get to a location, and it's usually kind of as you expect. You go to a location, zombies are chasing you. You think you're in a safe spot. The safe spot no longer becomes safe. You have to run, rinse and repeat a couple of times. Then find out, okay, zombie Scarlet Witch is gained a level of sentience, and she's going to achieve more power, and she's the big bad of it all, and, like, there you go. But then it just ends, you know? Like, it ends with this very confusing, like, this confusing ending that just doesn't really tell you anything, and what it shows you is just like, okay, what are you supposed to take from this? And then it just ends. And it's very clearly meant to be sequel bait. Like, hey, go watch The Thing. You know, go, please give us a better rating so that way we could pump out more of this, even though I'm very confident in saying they already have the second, quote-unquote, second season already animated and, like, locked and loaded. I already know that that's the case, because that's usually how it goes with these animated projects, you know. Not a fan of the animation or the art style for it, because it's got this very, like, unfinished, like, SFM Blender style, where this looks like the stuff you would have for your pre-visualization. Like, this is the concept like animation to showcase, okay, this is what we want to happen in the scene, but it's just not. And the added like zombified gore does nothing to really add any gravitas to the scene or anything. The MCU humor is up to Mach fucking 1, where it's like, okay, we are jokey, 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 jokey. No one shuts the fuck up except for maybe Blade, who doesn't do any of the dumb jokes, you know? Which is it's a miracle in of itself, you know? And then it's just like, you're barely given any moments to like let things breathe, which I feel like you kind of need that, especially for this type of show, where the idea is like, you're stuck in a world where your greatest heroes have been turned into zombies and they're currently trying to eat your face, you know? And you're trying to find this one in a million shot of potentially changing everything and fixing the world and putting it back together again. But we gotta have our jokes every 2 seconds. Even though this is meant to be a TVMA show, like, we're showcasing all the gore, we're showcasing all the violence, you know, but God forbid if we can't stop making a quip or joke every 2 seconds. But yeah, it's a show that I would not recommend to watch, you know? If you're interested in zombie products or whatnot, there are infinite amounts of zombie media to consume and enjoy that I would far recommend over this kind of stuff. Like, this would definitely not tickle that itch. And if you're a Marvel fan, I would not recommend it because I feel like you're just going to waste your time with it. Not really worth it unless you're really going to go for the content creator perspective of it. But that's just me. I was not a fan of it from day one. I watched it, still not a fan of it. Just kind of annoyed that I wasted 2 hours of my life on this because it's only 4 episodes, 30 minutes a pop. Very clearly movie script stretched out into a series because there's a lot of filler and pointless stuff that's just kind of there. And it's like, okay, this is just really repetitive nonsense that's just like, okay, I'm kind of done with this already. But yeah, with that being said, I'm going to call it. I know you're not going to watch Marvel Zombies, you know, because why would you? You have better options to do it. But if you do, what are your thoughts on in the comments section below? I actually read those comments. You know, I would like to read comments. Yeah, that's it. Goodbye.